Hello, Scary Dolls.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Caro.
And you're listening to Scary Not Scary Podcast. That's our intro every time.
Podcast.
Cast pod.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
We were like chatty Cathy's this whole time, and now we're like, hi. We're recording, so we should stop.
We were just talking about assholes.
We spent like a whole 20 minutes before we're recording. Me looking for a TikTok that I want to do with the girls.
And then me talking about how I want to bleach their assholes. How fun would that be?
And then we were talking about how we don't want no short dick man.
Yep.
Eeny weeny short dick man.
That's all.
I love that
Whole
song.
20
Why were we
minutes.
listening to this? This song came out like in the 90s, right? I
Did
don't know.
it?
Or 80s? 90s.
No, 90s.
It has to be 90s.
Not the
Yeah.
80s.
Dude, it was so funny. I was watching the video of the girl singing it live, and she's like, eeny weeny, teeny weeny. And then there's like kids in the audience. Like,
Oh my God.
really?
It's all me.
It's all Mandy and Michelle in the audience. Her mom. Dude,
Oh my God. And Tim has daddy daycare going right now.
Yep.
He has all the kids.
All the kids.
Good luck.
Except for Voodoo.
Yeah. No, my cat would not get along with the kids. He'd be
He'd be like
"Ew."
crawling on the ceiling trying to hide.
He's all, ew, kids.
Sabrina there chasing. No, it'd probably be Sophia and Jason chasing him.
Yep.
Sophia would be like, no, Sabrina would be like, no. See, I'm already getting the kids mixed up.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. So, anything interesting happened to you?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I had a dream me and Gato were fighting.
Like fist fighting or
No, like,
like
we were like fighting, like arguing, fighting. And then like after we finished, I can't remember for the life of me like what we were arguing or fighting about. And then afterwards, I was like, you want to go to Target? She's like, oh, fine, let's go. So we went to Target. And then we were talking. And then she's like, I told her, I was like, I think I'm pregnant. And she goes, bitch, I haven't started my period either. And I was like, let's go to the Dollar Tree and get a pregnancy test. And then I woke up right before
oh,
the
That's
results.
a sign.
that's a sign.
That's a sign. Gato's gonna get pregnant by me.
That. I didn't see that coming. It's coming. And I am
now
coming.
I'm gonna be that baby's pappy.
Oh God. I cannot like imagine myself with a kid. That poor little kid. It'd be just being like, what's up, bitches? Like, I don't know. Poor baby.
He's all sup walking in.
He's all, what's up, hoes? Y'all listen to Pierce the Veil yet?
Instead of calling me mom, he's like, hey ho.
Hey ho, make me a bean and cheese.
Or
The
like
fuck?
Zion, our friend Julia, her son calls her babe.
Oh,
He doesn't call her
really?
mom. He goes, babe, babe, babe.
Oh,
He's literally
Babe.
the
He's
cutest.
out, babe red, babe 3, babe papa, babe papa. Like, it's so
That's
cute. Oh my
cute.
God, I love it.
oh.
I love
Sabrina
him.
was
I love
sometimes
kids.
called Tim babe.
Because you call him babe.
Yeah. She's out, Dada, babe. So funny.
That's
Tim
cute.
funny.
That's not my name.
That's not my name.
That's not my name.
Make sure not to call your baby daddy puto in front of your kids. Oh my God. And they're gonna be like, puto. Come here, puto.
Oh.
I feel like that's Noreen's daughter.
Oh my God.
I love
That little
her.
girl is bad.
She's a vibe.
She is a total vibe, for sure.
She's me. Like everything I want to say to everybody in like a little person.
That little girl has no filter. She'll literally go up to you and be like,
I love it though.
Why are you
because
dressed
know
like that?
what? That means the little girl's gonna hold her own. Just like my sister Sophia. Like we should have them meet.
yeah, they
Because-
should. They'll probably get along.
They will.
Probably.
Even though my sister's older, they'll get along.
Yeah.
Because Gabri acts older for her age, which isn't a bad thing. That's
Yeah.
a good thing. She
No,
can
that
hold her
little
own.
girl,
She'd be tough.
she is smart.
Oh my God. Did I tell y'all the story the last episode or this one?
What?
About my sister fighting with her friends? No, right? No,
No,
'cause we
you
didn't
said it in
record.
person.
Yeah.
I forget what I tell y'all in person in
Yeah.
episodes. So my little sister's fighting with her friends.
Uh-oh.
So my sister Sophia can hold her own. Like my mom doesn't have to worry about her at all. But basically, like she told one of the little girls, "Okay, bitch," over text.
Oh shit.
And so my mom's like, "Sophia, you don't put stuff like that in writing. You don't do that.
No evidence.
No
I was about to
evidence.
say, you
Don't
don't
leave
leave
any
evidence."
evidence." But anyways, yeah, she's I don't know. I can't remember like what the story was, but yeah, she's fighting with her friends at school.
Oh, wow.
But man, she can hold her own, like just the way she is, and like she's loud. Because there's times where like my parents are yelling at her and she talks over them, and they're trying to like they're yelling louder to talk over her, so she yells even louder and talks over them. So yeah, like she can shut you up.
She's like, bet.
Yeah. For real, like that little girl's something else. I love it though. I'm like, I told my mom, oh my God, what's gonna happen like when she becomes a teenager and she's already acting like a
good
mom's
luck.
like, my dad always said, she's your problem.
Sorry.
Because I'm gonna be too old to care.
He's like, leave just the boy to me.
I love it though.
Fun.
Fun. Are y'all voting?
Oh, man. Are y'all voting?
Are y'all voting daily? Remember, there's 2 people you have to vote for.
Yes.
Nova Aesthetics under beauty.
And
then-
Scary Not Scary podcast under local podcasts.
Yes.
And that's under entertainment and leisure.
Yeah.
Entertainment and leisure.
Oh, I just put entertainment. I didn't look at the other word.
It says leisure, right?
I
Is
think
that a
so.
word?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I wish we could have paid for like the marketing to where we have our podcast pop up.
I don't know how much
Yeah.
it is. I should ask my boss.
Oh, yeah. That's
Because how long is the voting for? Like a month?
Till the 28th.
But isn't
Oh,
it like,
20.
isn't it where you vote and it's top 5 and then it's top 3 and then from there they choose a winner?
I don't know.
I think that's how it is. So I think they might have
So when
to
do they
vote
do the
another
top
round.
3?
I don't know. I'm gonna look.
Is that after the 28th?
It'll just say it online. We'll go.
But
look
did you
after
see
this.
we're like number 4 now? We're no longer.
I don't think that counts.
No?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't go like that.
So
It
it's
just
the first
mixes.
round? It's the
Because
first round?
sometimes when I click it, we're the first one, and then sometimes when I click it, we're like almost the last one. So I think it's just like the
It's
order.
mixing
The
it up.
order just mixes up.
Just
So
in
I don't
case we
think-
didn't hire bots to go and vote for
Yeah.
us.
Or did we? No, just kidding.
We did a Trump and we
Please make
got
sure you
Germany
vote.
to hack in. And
I know, right?
Oh
Or my
my
little
God.
cousins in Mexico have their friends voting. That'd be funny, right?
I wish we had money for that.
That'd be cool.
I wonder how much it
Guys,
is.
that's what we use our Patreon for. And all the money we get for the merch, we hire on bots. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm kidding.
Don't take that serious.
Ooh, I didn't moan. I went, It sounded like I did. Ew. Stop laughing.
I didn't realize that it sounded like a moan until you said it and it replayed in my head. It's funny.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
We're a mess today, but
So I have to tell you something.
Me?
I meant to tell you earlier. I don't know if
What?
Nick told you,
What?
but that'd be funny to say on the podcast.
What?
So
God, what did he do?
no, it's what
Wasn't
your
me.
man did.
What did he do? Me.
So when Nick and Tim went to the Family Dollar, apparently Nick's never been at a Family Dollar before.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah,
He's bougie.
he's never been.
Tim
to
told me,
one.
and I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." He walked in. He goes, "Oh wow, this is cool. I've never been in one of these before." And I was like, "What?"
Yep.
how
Yep.
dare you, Nick? What kind of Princess Peach are you?
Princess Peach.
I'm gonna call him Princess Peach.
Oh my god, I
Yep.
love I think it's hilarious how opposite y'all are.
Yeah, totally.
Like 100%.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, then that means he's never been into a Dollar Tree before. Everything's $1.
He hasn't? Can we take him like a field trip and document it?
record it and put it on TikTok.
That would be
Document.
so cool.
That would be fun.
Documentary.
Oh, my God, yes.
And he could be like, $1? This is $1?
Oh wait, it went up $1.25.
Oh, yeah. Now they have the dollar and up section.
Yeah. They have
Yeah,
up to
no.
like $5, right? Or 10.
10.
10.
Oh,
I've seen 10.
Well, actually, I've seen 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What?
it's more like the hardcore. Like,
Can they still have the
decorations.
name Dollar Tree?
So it's like the Dollar Tree, and it's like Dollar Tree
Plus
Dollar
or
Tree
something.
Plus. That's what it is. Yeah.
They should change it to Dollars.
Dollars
Tree.
Dollars Tree.
Dollars.
Dollars Tree.
Tree dollars.
Dollars Árboles.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nope, yep. That's him.
We love Nick though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
It's funny.
bougie.
I like making
Princess
fun of him,
Peach.
though.
I'm gonna call him Princess Peach now.
Gonna be his nickname.
Yeah.
now,
we were
Princess
looking
Peach.
for houses and stuff, and he found one that's literally like was down the street, like from here. And then he was like, "I mean, I could sacrifice." He's like, "I could for a nice house like that," and I was like, I don't know if you'd make it
In the hood. Imagine him pumping gas and someone comes up to him and he's like,
And like they pop fireworks here randomly, and some of them do sound like gunshots. So he would probably think every firework is a gunshot.
He'd be like, "Gunshot? No, wait,
Firework.
No. Gunshot?
That's
I don't
what
know.
it's like living in the West Side. Is
Yeah.
it gunshots? Is it fireworks?
But you know what?
No one will ever know.
I actually think he would survive on this side of town because it's
He
not
might.
like it's not the south side. It's the southwest side, but it's not like south side, and it's not
Yeah.
west side.
But
side.
he also like
Do the
he,
south
he can't
side.
judge quietly. You know,
Oh,
like
that's-
sometimes like his face, like he doesn't know how to like just okay and then talk shit in the car. Sometimes he don't know how to do that.
Oh,
you gotta
So-
teach him, girl. Don't
I'm
get his ass
trying.
beat.
Sometimes he says something like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, they're like, "Oh my god!"
She said, "Shut the fuck up."
gun. Shut up.
I'm like, "Do you want to die?" Shut up.
Motherfuckers have guns everywhere here.
Oh my god,
Chill
we
the
should
fuck
take
out.
him to the dollar store by your house. The
Oh
one
my
that's disguised.
God.
He
The
wouldn't
One we
go
went
in.
to last
He
time
wouldn't go in.
I don't think he would go in.
before the one we went to before the
Yes.
shoot. Oh my god,
Guys,
yes.
there's
Like we went in all badass. Okay, like there's a dollar store here. Like,
You're like-
nothing. Nick probably wouldn't even get off the car.
Guys,
He'd be
this
like,
dollar tour. Should close the door tour. What is it?
I got the door
I
tour.
got the door tour. Anyway, this dollar store is like top secret. Like outside, it's all tagged up.
It's all like
and it looks
bad.
just like a random ass building with tagging on it. But you go inside and there's literally wall to wall of nothing but like stuff like earrings,
It's cool.
bracelets, makeup,
anything
bongs,
you need.
bongs,
Shoes.
contacts, bras, like literally everything.
clothes, bags,
Hats.
purses. Yes, everything. I love it
Luggage.
there.
Cards,
Anything, just name it.
Yeah, the building literally looks abandoned.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
even like boards on the
the
windows.
side,
Yeah.
right? Guys, it's my hood and I love my people, but damn, why y'all so ratchet sometimes? Like, girl, we can never have nothing nice. The fucking walls are all tagged.
It's
Oh
over there
my
by the
gosh.
Las Palmas.
Yeah. Y'all know Las Palmas hood?
I like did not want to look behind me so bad.
Low key, I was kind of hoping that my door was opening up on its own.
Did you see?
Your
God,
face?
I like froze and I was like,
It's because I was waiting to see what
I just
happened.
kept
I was
looking.
all,
I was like, why?
why?
Oh, it's kidding. We stopped midway because our door was open. Well, we thought my door was opening up on its own, but it was just Tim. All the kids pooped at the same time.
Yep.
how fun.
Tim was like, "Are y'all cycles in sync?"
All their
Bye,
butts.
bye, bye.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, let's get into
Pinch,
it.
poke,
Yeah.
owe each other a Coke. So this week we decided to cover dark history.
Dark history.
History. All up on Ashley's vibe. This is Ashley's
She was super excited.
yeah.
It was.
We gave this to you. Happy birthday.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
No, Happy Valentine's Day.
Yay.
This is technically our Valentine's episode. Mwah.
I hate Valentine's Day.
We're both like,
sad, right?
We'll be your Valentine.
we'll be Valentine's. I'll
Okay.
buy you a box of chocolate.
Thank you. That's all I want.
I'll
Okay,
make you
I'm
a
good now.
basket.
Thanks. I like Valentine's Day now.
So dark history.
Dark history.
Dark history.
Okay, I even took mine up a little bit, and it has
Oh.
psychology in it too.
Oh, excuse me.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
That sounds fun.
Okay,
Fun.
so I'm going to be talking about the Stanford Prison Experiment. So it was in the 1970s, and this professor named Philip Zimbardo and some of his colleagues decided to research the sadistic personalities of the guards, because apparently back in that time there was like a whole bunch of complaints about like the brutality inside like the prison systems in America. So they decided to do like an experiment and see like, is it just like a person to person type of thing? Is it because they're in like a hostile environment, or like what is it? Right. So they decided to do this. So, what he did was he gathered a couple of college students, and it was a total of 15 students. And he decided they were randomly selected, but they had to be like stable, like mentally stable. They couldn't have any kind of like physical limitations. They couldn't have like any sort of like health issues, anything like that. So they had to be like top notch, perfect health, everything. Okay. And these people volunteered. So just saying. So what they did was they got 15 people. They did pay them. It was $15 a day. And they separated them into half of them are going to be guards, half of them are going to be the prisoners. And basically what they did was they arrested them, but out of nowhere. So they just like, they were in their homes one night and they just basically like barged into their house, blindfolded them, put a bag over their head, and took them to like this secret location where it was basically decked out to look like a prison, prison cellar and all that kind of stuff. It was actually the basement of the Stanford University is where all this took place at. So they had bare walls. The cells were very, very small. The doors were barred. And when the prisoners arrived, they were stripped naked. They had all of their personal possessions removed and locked away. They were given prison clothes and bedding. They were also issued a uniform. And they were referred to by number only. So they had no more names. You couldn't call them by name, only by their number. So it was basically to make them feel like they were like anonymous. That way they didn't know, like, oh, I know Zach like personally. So this is Zach, prisoner number 1. Like they couldn't do that. So it had to be all like unison. So they didn't like any biased thing would go on. So basically their clothes that they had, it was basically like smocks, it kind of reminded me of like the mental institutions, like when they put the gowns on them. It's kind of like what they had. They had that. And then that was the prisoners. All the guards, they had identical uniforms. They were all khaki. They were instructed to carry a whistle around their neck. And they also had a billy club, which they borrowed from some of like the police stations. So they had a club and a whistle around their necks. They also were instructed to wear special sunglasses. And they were basically, the sunglasses were so they couldn't make eye contact with like the prisoners when they were like abducting them from like their homes. Okay. So the guards, they would work 8-hour shifts, but the other guards remained on call. So when they weren't on their actual 8-hour shift, they remained on call just in case like they needed to come back. They were instructed to do whatever they thought was necessary to maintain the law and order inside the prison, and to command the respect of the prisoners. No physical violence was permitted at all, but they were instructed to do whatever's necessary. So it's kind of like a, back and forth thing. So basically the professor, what he did was he put them all in this situation and he just observed the behavior of both the prisoners and the guards. And he also acted as like the warden of the prison. So basically within hours of beginning the experiment, the guards began to harass the prisoners. Mostly it would happen around like the wee hours of the morning. So like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. The prisoners were awakened from their sleep and they would blast the whistles for counts. So they got to like count each prisoner to make sure they have all the prisoners there. That way no one like escaped or something like that. So they would do this every single day around 2:30. But instead of like waking them up, like, hey guys, like wake up, it's time to count. They would like harass them. They would yell at them. They would blow the whistles really loud to like brutally like awake them pretty much. And also the count served as a way to familiarize the prisoners with their numbers. That way they would remember that they're a number and not like a person is what they were trying to do. And so even though like violence wasn't permitted, there was physical punishment by the guards. So basically what he was seeing is that even though he gave them all these instructions, the guards were kind of like taking it on themselves to do whatever they pretty much wanted, like with the prisoners. So when the warden wasn't there watching, they would do whatever they wanted, type of thing. So basically they were insulted. They were given petty orders to do. They were giving pointless and boring tasks to accomplish, and they were also generally dehumanized. So a lot of the guards were dehumanizing them, telling them like they're nothing, they're worthless, they're locked up in here forever, like blah, blah, blah. No one cares about them, all that type of stuff. One form of physical punishment was they would make them do push-ups. One guard even stepped on one of the prisoners' backs while they did push-ups. And then made the other prisoners sit on each other's backs. So like another prisoner would have to sit on someone while they did like push-ups. That was like a form of punishment if they didn't do something the guards wanted them to do. So the first day that they did all this, like nothing happened. There was no incidences, no nothing. But slowly as the second day started, the third day, that's when like stuff started picking up and the guards started being like bad to them.
Taking things into their own hands.
Yeah. So during the second day of the experiment, the prisoners removed their stocking caps, ripped off their numbers, and barricaded themselves inside the cells by putting their beds against their door. So they were pretty much like reacting to what the guards were like doing. So they were trying to like keep themselves safe and all that kind of stuff. The guards then at that point, when they did that, called in reinforcements. 3 guards were waiting on standby to come in for night shift, while other guards remained like on duty. So they always had somebody like ready to like rush in and help with like riots, like if they tried to start like a riot. So some of the prisoners were given special privileges. So like the ones that the guards felt like were their buddies, or they would do like extra stuff like for them. There was 3 cells that were designated as the privileged cell. So basically like if they started like a rebellion or like a riot, any prisoner that didn't participate that much in the rebellion was given like the privileged cell. And it was basically like given back some of their stuff. They were able to like wash their hair, brush their teeth. So do human things to feel themselves.
And this was an experiment, right?
Like, and it was
voluntary. Oh.
Yeah. So they volunteered to do this because apparently there was like complaints about this happening in the American prisons from like all the prisons, not just like 1 or 2. It was all of the prisons. So this professor was like, well, let me do an experiment to see like what causes it. Is it the guards? Is it the prisoners? Is it like the harsh environment of like, cause you know, in prisons, there's nothing, like there's bare walls, there's everything. Is it that? Does it make them go crazy? So that's what he was trying to like figure out, what causes this. And so the guards and like the special prisoners, this was like all they're doing. So like basically the professor just sat back and like they were like, watched it happen. Like he wouldn't intervene. He wouldn't like, he just gave them in the beginning the set rules, what they were supposed to do, what they weren't supposed to do. And then he's like, all right, go for it. Go at it. And he just like sat back and watched.
It's crazy. Right?
It is. Yeah. So over the next few days that this was happening, of course, there was a relationship forming between prisoners and guards, but it changed. And it started changing. The guards, like they remembered that they were fully in control and that the prisoners were dependent on them. So some of the prisoners would like try to be like buddy with them. They would try to like, oh, I can, do this for you, or I could do that. Or the guards would ask them to like do favors, like that type of thing. So as the prisoners, they started like becoming more like dependent, or they would like start learning, their way around like which guards they could like, do things with, which ones they couldn't, which ones they
mean ones.
Yeah, the mean ones and the not mean ones. The guards started to like realize what they were doing and knew what they were up to. So they would start like the prisoners would be more submissive to them because the guards would start being more and more harsh, and they would give them more punishments and more this and more that. So there is a prisoner that was in here. So less than 36 hours into the experiment, one prisoner began to suffer from acute emotional disturbance, disorganized thinking, uncontrollable crying, and rage. This was only 36 hours into the experiment.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So after he met with the guards, and he told them that the guards were telling him that he was weak, that he was like, what's wrong with you? You shouldn't be doing this. You're like a grown man already, like, blah, blah, blah. Like they were basically insulting him. He wanted to leave. Like the prisoner was like, I'm done with the experiment. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. But the guards didn't listen to him, and they were like, you can't leave. You can't quit this. Like you're stuck in here. You have to like stick it out. The prisoner began to act crazy. He began to scream, curse. He went into a rage. He was like basically out of control. And it wasn't until this point that the actual like professor finally realized like, oh shit, like this is for real. Then he like was able to let him out like of the experiment. But it wasn't until he pretty much like lost control.
That gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
that made
He
me
probably
feel
needed
ugly.
to like get like serious therapy after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humans, man, I'm telling you, we're the most dangerous creatures out there.
Exactly. So within this this period, they also did a like visiting day, like from the parents. So that they were all volunteers, so they like told their families like what was going on. They had to sign, you know, like waivers and stuff. So the parents came and they visited for like a little bit. Well, after that, so when they did this, of course, they like bathed them. They washed them. They had them clean and polish like all their cells. They fed them like a really nice big dinner. They played music over the intercom, kind of like to make the parents like see like, okay, like they're okay, like they're doing fine. But after the visit, a couple of the prisoners decided to do like an escape plan. So there was like the guards like caught wind of a rumor of like a huge like escape plan. So the prisoners were afraid that they were going to lose. I mean, the guards were afraid that they were going to lose the prisoners. So the guards escalated to a level of harassment on them, forcing them to do repetitive work such as cleaning the toilets with their bare hands, not giving them any kind of like cleaning tools. So they would just give them the stuff to clean it, and they'd have to clean it like with their hands instead of like gloves and all that kind of stuff. So they tried to like not guilt trip them. What is it called? Like harass them into like not escaping because they caught wind of it. So when any single time they would try to do something that was like in rebellion, the guards would retaliate back on them.
They'll punish them.
And punish them for stuff. There was another prisoner. So, this one prisoner was talking, he decided to talk to a priest. He was like, I feel like I need to talk to somebody. So a lot of the prisoners, when the priest came down to talk to them, they introduced themselves as their number and not their name. So even them themselves started feeling like they weren't like a human person. They started feeling like they weren't like an individual anymore. And so the priest had told them that the only way that they would get out of this like experiment was they had to like talk to like a lawyer. Which is basically what happens like in prison. Like you have to talk to a lawyer, you know, they always like say that to you. So the priest was kind of acting like as that. And so after talking to a priest, one prisoner broke down and began to cry like hysterically. The prisoners that were released before, like the previous one that had gotten released after he started going, you know, a little bit crazy, this prisoner was kind of doing the same thing. So he started crying hysterically. The psychologist, I forgot to mention, they had chains on their feet. Like on one of their foot, they had like a chain like attached. Because I guess like whenever they, like in prisons, when they move you from like cell to like different areas, they have to put like cuffs and like chains around your feet.
So you won't run away?
Yeah. So they had chains like on their feet. So the psychologist after this point with this prisoner, the second one, he finally like took the chain off and told him, go ahead and like you can go lay down and rest like in the room. Like I understand this is, you know, a little bit crazy for you. And he did give him some food and some water and like all this kind of stuff and did take him to see like a doctor. So he could see that the experiment was causing them like to go crazy. From being in there and from getting like harassed.
So much anxiety.
Dude, like I feel like my heart is beating super fast.
So, but the difference with this second prisoner was that the psychologist realized when he was talking to him and trying to like control him, that the prisoner could hear chanting, and went back into the room where he found the prisoner like sobbing like uncontrollably, even though he took him to see a doctor, you know, this and that. He just like
he lost it.
Like it was just too much for him, because apparently during the experiment that some of the other, it just says others, I don't know if it's guards or prisoners, they basically labeled him as like a bad prisoner because he wasn't doing like some of the chores right, or he would get punished like a lot. So they basically labeled him like the bad prisoner. And to me, it kind of like in prison, you know, like the one that causes trouble, or the one that like, I guess like, what is it called? Snitches or whatever. They label them like as certain things. That's kind of like what was happening to him. So at this point, the psychologist tried to bring him back and was like, hey, like you're not, you know, number whatever, like this is your name, this is who you are, like blah blah blah, because he realized like, oh shit, this is like this is bad. Like, this is really, really bad.
Messing with their mental health.
Yeah, exactly. And he had to remind him,
hands are so clammy. They're sweating.
Yeah, like he had to remind him that it's not a real prison. This isn't real. Like, this is an experiment. Like, because he legit thought that he was like in prison and that he was never going to see like his family again.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel bad for him.
It's like really, really crazy. So the experiment only lasted, it was supposed to last longer, but it only lasted for 2 weeks and 6 days until it was finally terminated.
2 weeks?
And they were going through all that already?
And they were going through all that.
In my mind, I'm like, oh my God, they went through this for like 6 months.
No, it was only 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then it was terminated. And it says it was terminated due to the emotional breakdowns of prisoners and excessive aggression of the guards is why they shut it down.
Bitch.
Yeah. And
2 weeks.
Yeah, there was another
It's a whole pay period.
There was another professor at Stanford that basically like I think this professor was the one that brought it like to light and was kind of like, this is fucking wrong. Like what the hell are you doing? Because it basically says it's terrible what you are doing to these boys, and it's basically like what is it, like unmoral,
It's morbid.
Morbid. There you go. Yeah. So the professor himself, Zimbardo, in 2008 finally noted, like, it wasn't until much later that I realized how far into my prison role I was at that point, that I was thinking like a prison superintendent rather than a research psychologist. So even him himself, like, got into it. Like, he had to remind himself, like, I'm a psychologist,
so
not
like
a fucking
big
like
play, and they just took the roles too seriously.
Yeah, exactly. So he said that according to like what him and his colleagues found out was that it revealed how readily conform to the social roles they are expected to play, especially if the roles are strongly stereotyped as those of the prison guards. Because the guards were placed in a position of authority, they began to act in ways they would not usually behave in their normal lives. But then, so fast forward. Oh, there's a movie about this, by the way. It's called The Stanford Experiment. It came out in 2015. I think. I haven't seen it, but it's got some like pretty good people like in the movie. But
I feel like I would cry throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. But here's the freaking kicker. Are y'all ready? The whole thing was basically a fraud. So the guards, because they were like, you know, I mean, because when you go into an experiment, you have to tell them not all of it, but majority of like what you're kind of doing. That way they kind of know. Well, it was found because they went back and they were basically like reevaluating like all his data, all the stuff that he found out. They went and like interviewed some of the people that played the guards and like all this kind of stuff. Well, basically they found out that the guards knew the results that Zimbardo was wanting. So they knew that he was actually really wanting to find out, like, is it like the harsh, like they knew his results of what he wanted to do. So they were basically doing what he wanted pretty much. So
because they knew that he wanted to see that it was the guards making the people go crazy, or what?
Basically, like that's what his results he wanted, like as a psychologist wanted to see.
So it was a tampered experiment.
It was a tampered experiment. So the guards
I know that for nothing.
Yeah, they knew the results and they basically like were trained to meet his goal of what he actually wanted. So basically the whole entire thing was predetermined pretty much from the get-go. Yeah. So it's basically like it was for nothing, pretty much.
They went in knowing that they were going to make these people drive crazy, and that's why it only lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because they like knew what they wanted, so they like legit like just like were so horrible to them. They did everything they could to make their lives miserable. And that's why after they shut it down, because they knew exactly what was going to happen. It doesn't say whether he knew like if he knew that they were doing this, but I'm pretty sure like
because how else would they find out?
Exactly, because it says that they were trained to meet his goal. So I don't know if he trained them or something, but like some.
And they were real guards. Like they picked them from places, or they were trained.
They were like, I'm guessing,
or just or this was all a big play and everyone was just hired. You know,
they were volunteers. They were volunteers. So there was like 15 or 20 of them. And he like separated them, but randomly selected like, you're a prisoner, you're a guard, you're a prisoner, you're a guard.
Oh, so there weren't even real guards.
Yeah, no, they weren't real guards. No, they were volunteers. But the people that were guards, I'm thinking he told them like, this is the outcome that like I'm thinking or that I'm wanting.
Or this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if it's the prisoners that are making them go crazy or if it's the guards. And
but
then
the thing is, like, how do they act like guards if they don't know what guards act like? Like, what if, like, are they acting like the way guards would act in a movie, like fucked up?
He said that he gave them instructions in the beginning, right? Okay, this is what you're going to do as a guard.
So probably that.
Yeah. Because they had to know, like, okay, rigged. You're a prisoner, you're this.
He probably gave too much information.
He probably did.
Or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
So the whole thing was, like, one for nothing. It was a fraud because the data is, like, tampered with, so you can't even use it. And then because he even published it and said, like, these were my findings after 2 weeks, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then later on, years later, when they went back to look at it, they're like, wait a minute, like, reanalyzing everything.
My question is, so the people that were prisoners... Because they signed a waiver, like there's no way they could have like sued him or anything, right?
Because the
waivers protected him.
Yeah. Because when you volunteer for an experiment, you have to like sign stuff, and you volunteered, so they're like, well, you signed up like for it, pretty much. But I'm just like, the whole freaking thing was like on purpose. They tormented these people on purpose. He like published his stuff as saying like, oh yeah, this is true. This is what happens like in the American prisons, and then it's like a predetermined freaking thing.
Yeah.
Like, so he like tormented these people for no reason. Yeah.
Trash. He is TRA.
Because at least 3 of them like went crazy and like almost lost their minds pretty much from it.
Holy shit. So I got anxiety for nothing.
Yep. Yeah.
look at how clammy.
I'm gonna sue you.
Look at how clammy my hands are. Look.
Yeah.
Clammy.
Like my armpits are like all prickling, and I'm like picturing myself.
Yeah,
there,
that's what I was.
Oh my god, like I can't.
I'm like, that's what was happening to me.
That would be me like 24 hours, and I want my babies. Like,
my mommy.
Hi, mom. I want to talk to my lawyer.
Dude, no. If I knew already that this wasn't real, they're gonna be like, inmate. I'm like, I'm not your fucking inmate, bitch. Fuck you, hoe.
Yeah, but. Wow. But I mean, from what came from it, like a good, I guess, part of it was that he did find out that like in prisons, like you do lose your sense of identity and like your personal responsibility because you're a number. You're not like a person. You're in a mass like group. So it's like you lose yourself in there. So they did find that like,
and you
that is
learn
true.
your ways into that kind of society though, too.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not the way it is on the outside world. So you just kind of mesh and conform yourself. How do you explain it? Like you transform yourself to be a part of that society.
Yeah. And he was saying that you can't really like, because you know it's predetermined and stuff, so you can't really like go on his word, but he said that like the guards, from them being so like sadistic, is that how you say it? Sadistic?
Yeah.
Because they didn't feel like what they were doing to them, like they weren't doing it personally. They felt like it was in a group, like it's a group norm, like together type of thing. So themselves didn't feel like personally responsible, like type of thing. So even them too, like he said that they also too like lost their sense of identity because they're all dressed the same uniform. They all do the same things every single day. There's a mass, you know, guards in there too. So it says like the prisoners feel like loss of identity. So do the guards. And it's like a back and forth like type of thing. That's what they were saying. That and like helplessness. They feel helplessness like while they're in there. So you can't really like, you know.
Well, I don't feel bad for the guards because those assholes did it on purpose. I feel bad for the people that ended up being prisoners.
Me too.
I'm just thinking about like their long-term mental health, like the PTSD, all the like
trauma
that they had to go through. Did they say how old they were?
It just says they were in college.
Oh my god,
they're
so they're probably like in their 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it says, let me see. Let me go all the way back. I think it was like college time.
Bitches. I'm going to tell my sister, do not volunteer to be in a study. That's another thing. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to tell her.
Don't volunteer for anything.
I'm
Matter
going
of
to
fact.
text her right now.
Text her right now.
She's going to be like,
my sister's going off to college.
What's wrong with you?
This year, so.
Where it says men. It says 24 men, but the actual experiment didn't have that many because people started like, you know, dropping out like little by little. So the final count was only 10 prisoners and 11 guards.
But for what? Like, I would do it if there was like oh, you get $100 gift card. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, what do they get? Like, do they get a nice steak dinner?
They
Like,
only got
what do they get?
They got $15 a day to do the experiment.
Fuck no. No
Yeah.
one can pay me $15 a day for nothing.
It was probably college students who were in debt, who needed money,
Probably.
who probably couldn't work because how big their, how jacked up their schedule was for school. And they found this as an easy way to make $1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's true.
I misread this. So sorry. I totally misread this. Okay. So he intended for the actual experiment to run for 2 weeks, but it got terminated 6 days in. So it was only a week.
6 days. Not
days.
even a week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He wanted it to run for 2 weeks.
So they were going
And
nuts in 6
in
days.
6 days. Yeah.
Oh,
I just reread
My
that and I was like,
jaw
oh my God,
dropped.
wait.
Fuck.
I was like, I read that wrong. My bad. Yeah. 6
Damn,
days
girl.
and it got terminated after that. So
Wow.
yeah, this whole thing was like totally crazy. When I was reading it, I was just like, why would you even like?
Why would
And
you
the fact too, like they
volunteer?
even started like that because they were arrested at home. Like they weren't even like told, okay, you're going to
When-
show up on this day. They literally just randomly went and arrested them at home. And then like,
How
Can you imagine
embarrassing.
if they didn't tell the parents yet and the parents were like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on? Or someone's getting laid?
yeah.
That'd be
Or do
me.
you
Just
remember
kidding.
that show, Room Raiders?
Raiders?
Room Raiders, yeah.
Dude, that was a badass show.
I used to watch that.
I
all the
used to always lay in bed and be like, oh my God, I hope Room Raiders doesn't come in. So dumb.
time. Well, now that I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, it was so
So
sad.
staged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb.
But apparently, like when this happened, there was like they were saying it's a breach of ethics because the prisoners mostly did not know that they were going to be arrested because they had to get approval like from the police department and everything to do this. But the approval wasn't given till like literally like 30 minutes or so before they actually went and arrested the people. So he was going to do it regardless whether he had
Regardless.
like approval or not. So they were saying that was like first unethical like of him to even do that.
Yeah.
And that like they weren't protected like psychologically, like he didn't give them any kind of tools or anything to use while they were in the experiment. So
Wow.
yeah,
Damn.
it's crazy. It was a crazy like thing. So yeah, that's the Stanford
I told my
experiment.
sister.
You did?
Yes. She said, why? And I was like, it's Ashley covered in experiments, so don't do it. And she put LOL with a bunch of crying faces.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good one.
Damn.
That was
Yeah.
a
Me and God are over here like sweating.
I have so
Having
much anxiety.
I think we're feeding off each other's anxiety. I was like literally like in a ball just listening to Ashley.
My freaking hands were sweating. They're all clammy right now.
Oh,
How am I even gonna scroll through my shit? Okay, guys.
So y'all want to watch the movie?
Yes.
yes.
Oh, we should.
Should.
We should watch it. I'll find
I'm
it.
scared,
We should
though.
watch it.
I'm scared. I'm gonna be nervous through the whole movie.
I'm already nervous.
My
little
stomach
foot's shaking.
hurts.
It's 2 hours long though.
Oh,
2 hours and 2
Shit.
minutes.
Okay, we need a bunch of snacks.
Snacks.
I'm on my stomach hurts just thinking about it.
to poop.
All right, I'm next. So today, my dark history, it's not scary or anything, but it's about one of my favorite things, and that's Playboy.
Oh, I was all drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
Playboy.
Playboy.
So today I'm going to be talking about the Playboy Mansion and their dark secrets. So I know growing up, I was a really big fan of watching The Girls Next Door. Did you ever watch that
Yes,
show?
all the time.
Obsessed. I always thought it would be so fun to be like a Playboy bunny and have all this money and go to parties all the time and, you know, live in this big mansion and just have fun all day. But at least that's what was shown on camera. But what if I told you that many women have came out and shared their stories about what it was really like behind those closed doors? Dude, I wrote this all dramatic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shut up. I'm a writer now. Okay, we're going to talk about the main man, Hugh Hefner, founder of Playboy. So to me, he seemed like a nice little old man. Like you see him on the show, he was just so quiet and sweet and like professional. But things weren't what they seemed. So many girls would say that he was like totally opposite from like what we would see on TV. So I actually read the book called Down the Rabbit Hole, and this is by Holly Madison. And she was Hugh Hefner's main girlfriend for like 8 years. But she really went into detail in this book It's throwing me off that you're recording me. I'm sorry. Okay, so this magazine first started. When this magazine first started, Hugh Hefner used a picture of Marilyn Monroe in the nude as his centerfold. So he bought this picture for $500, but Marilyn Monroe had like no idea that she was going to even be in the magazine. She wasn't told. She just like saw her picture one day on Playboy and
Really?
that's it. Yeah. So what happened is, I think Marilyn Monroe one year, she was like really broke. It was when she wasn't like super famous yet. So she was really broke and she needed to make a car payment. And she was like, well, what do I do? Marilyn Monroe went and she took some like nude photos, not really completely nude, but just some photos. And the photographer gave her $50. She really needed to make her car payment. So he's like, here's $50.
$50 back
Yeah.
then? Damn.
Back then, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. And so he gave her $50 and then, so for some reason, the person that had like rights to those pictures was like auctioning them off and Hugh Hefner saw them and he bought those pictures for $500. So he bought Marilyn Monroe's nudes for $500 and then made all this money off of it because he put her as the centerfold of Playboy magazine.
Bitch.
Yeah, and she had no idea. So in reality, all she made from that centerfold was $50. In reality, if we're being honest, she didn't get a penny.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So also, this is weird because when I first found out about this, I was freaking out. The bunny was chosen as a mascot because to Hugh Hefner, he said women remind him of bunnies because they're playful. And you know how the bunnies come and they smell you and then they run away and then they come back and then you just feel like caressing them. That to him, that's what a woman is, like an animal.
What?
And also, bunnies are always reproducing. So that's another
We're always
thing.
reproducing.
Yeah. In 1958, Hugh Hefner accidentally featured a 16-year-old on the cover of the magazine.
Accidentally.
So he featured a minor, yes. But he did no jail time for this. So she actually did a month like in jail. But he didn't do anything. But the reason why he didn't go to jail is because he was saying that the mom and the girl lied. And they were like saying that she was 18 when she wasn't.
Wait, why did she go to
16.
jail?
Probably because she lied.
Because she lied
I can kind of see
about
that,
her
though.
age.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
But also, you're a millionaire magazine
Wouldn't you
owner.
check?
Wouldn't you check an ID?
He was probably looking the other way.
Yeah. So, you guys, this is weird, but I have a picture of me in 7th grade and I'm wearing a Playboy bunny necklace. Just letting you know. Okay, so let me tell you about some of the rules of the mansion that all of the girls had to follow. So this is where it's like dark history, I guess. There were scheduled days. Number one, there were scheduled days Hugh Hefner would have sex with his girls. It was on Wednesdays and Fridays. So their routine is they would go to the nightclub and he would go out with about 6 or 7 women, take them to the club drinking. And sometimes he would offer them quaaludes and he would call them thigh openers. So he was basically drugging the girls to kind of like get them in the mood, like to fuck him. So each girl, so whenever he would take them out, he would give them like all this booze and drugs or whatever, take them back to his house, and then they would all go upstairs and each of the girls would have to be like on top of him for like a minute, riding him. This is a little too much for y'all. Look at your eyes.
No, I don't care. I'm just like,
And he liked for the other girls to hype him up, like, fuck her daddy. Yeah, like,
No.
yes.
but in like the series, you can kind of see that happening because he like takes them out for drinks, and Holly does mention, she's like, yeah, when we go out, one of us stays with Hugh for the night.
Yeah. So, but this was weird. Like, he never like, this is gross, but he never finished with a girl. Like, so he would just have them all, like, they said it was like a routine. Like, just go sit on top for a couple minutes and then get off. Next. And, you know what his logic was? He would have his main girlfriend go first because he didn't like to use protection. And so to him, by fucking his main girlfriend first, it would protect her in case anybody else had anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like an STD or something.
Yeah.
But if
And then after he would get checked, I guess.
oh, okay, I was about to say, but if he did this like every weekend,
Yeah. But imagine like, oh, I'm the main girlfriend. I have to go first, so I won't catch an STD.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but he couldn't like finish with a girl. He had to like turn around and finish himself off.
I guess just in case to not get them pregnant.
That,
I
or
don't
maybe
know.
it was just like, because he's an old man, he has his own routine.
Yeah,
So
like,
just,
oh yeah, he had his own
like
routine.
his OCD, pretty much.
He had the same breakfast every day, the same. He would go out to restaurants and
They
have
showed that on
his
the show,
chef,
too.
his personal chef, like take his food and they would cook it there at the restaurant for him. Like he was so OCD.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
rule number 2.
Watch the series. It's all on there.
Yeah, we
I've
have to
never
watch
seen
it.
the series.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, rule number 2, no red lipstick allowed. So in one of the in the book, Holly said she wore red lipstick one time and he like yelled at her and told her that she looked like a cheap hooker and she could not wear red lipstick.
What?
Yeah. Rule number 3, 9 p.m. curfew. So the girls could not leave the mansion for any reason after 9. Like you cannot leave unless you're probably dying or something. But you can't leave the mansion after 9. Rule number 4, they did have an allowance. Every Friday morning, the girls would have to line up at his door and he would pay them each $1,000. I mean, that sounds nice, right? But he would pay it in like crisp $100 bills. And he would use this time to tell the girls what they weren't doing right. Here's $100, but you really have to work on more sexual activity with me. Here's another $100, but you really need to be more involved with the other girls because, so basically just judging them. Here's $100, but you need to go fix your hair because it looks like trash. Here's another $100, but you know, you might need a nose job because you kind of look ugly. Like stuff like that. Like, he would use that time to tell them what they need to work on and pay them. You know, and if you're getting all this money, it's just like,
I'm gonna do what you say.
yeah. And he would also be like, oh, you know, you need to actually like go out with us more, or like, you know, stuff like that. And if you would like not want to go out with him on a Wednesday or a Friday, he would like not want to pay you your $1,000 a week. So it was weird. Number 5 is that they were not allowed to work. They had to be available to Hef whenever he wanted for any reason. So he actually made Holly used to work at Hooters and he made her quit her job at Hooters so she could be like a full-time girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Whenever Hef was being interviewed, this is number 6, whenever Hef was being interviewed, the girls had to remain silent, you know, because men talk first or whatever. He was an older man.
Yeah.
So I guess he was still like in his ways. So rule number 7, his girlfriends had to have bleached hair. And also they can get as much cosmetic surgery as they wanted. So this one I didn't see as like being too bad.
Yeah.
But that was number 7. Number 8 is they couldn't have their own cars. Because I think he was scared that they would just like leave him. So Hef would give them like loan out cars to them. So they couldn't have their own cars. So the way you came is the way you left.
Yeah.
So
Holy shit.
yeah. So Hef was like he was an old man. He liked routines. Sundays, every Sunday, he had his whole week planned out. And this was every week that they had to do this. A routine. Sundays were for pool parties and screening new movies. So he used to have this like super big like screen room where they would watch new movies that haven't came out yet, stuff like that. So that was their Sunday nights. Mondays were manly Mondays. His friends would come over and they would eat dinner and play cards. Manly Mondays. Tuesday was family night. His ex-wives and his kids would come over and they would hang out with him.
What did his wife and kids think about? Like,
I don't know.
that's crazy.
Wednesday, we all know, club sex. That was Wednesday. Thursday was the only day where he just let them do whatever they wanted. There was really no rules. And then Friday, clubs, sex. That was Friday's routine. Saturdays were other movie nights. And that was his weekly routine. So there were like a lot of things that Hugh Hefner said to these girls that were like emotional abuse. One of them, I think one of the episodes, Kendra was crying and saying that she was feeling insecure because all of these other girls were like super pretty and blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't feeling, I guess she just wasn't feeling herself that day. And he's like, well, you do look a little bigger. Maybe you should try the gym. Can you imagine? And she's literally so hot. Like, she had the sporty body. And
But
he's
it's
like,
just so weird.
You look
'cause
a
it's
little
like,
bigger.
You're a fucking old man. Like, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah. There was also reports of the mansion being like super dirty because he never liked to change the carpet or anything. So there was pee. All of those girls had pets. There
Multiple
was
pets.
multiple
God.
pets. There was pee stains everywhere and poop. There were just poop everywhere. And the reports, there's like a lot of reports, I would say, that the mansion smelled horrible.
He didn't have like fucking cleaners or
I'm sure he does, but
what the fuck?
you
You have to
probably
change
didn't
all the
wanna spend
carpet
it.
when you have that many pets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There was like so many other things that went like down inside that mansion that are super creepy. I obviously I don't have enough time to like go over everything, but if y'all want to know a little bit more, I guess you can read Down the Rabbit Hole because it's such a good book. And those are just some of the few dark things I learned about the Playboy Mansion. So everything looks super cool on the outside,
But you
but on
can
the
kind of see it though
inside,
too, like when you watch Girls Next Door. Like if you rewatch it now, you can
now
kinda
that
see
I
it.
know,
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
When we were rewatching it and when you were telling me, I was like, oh yeah.
yeah. So now that you know these things and you rewatch it, you can kind of
Notice
you can kind of notice these things. Yeah. But and it's just cringy. Like,
And they
he's
have a
such-
documentary out now about it.
Yes, I
But
haven't
it's
seen it though. We
more-
need to watch it.
It's not really about Hugh, because I thought it was gonna be about him, like his history, but it's more about like the girl's perspective. The only issue I have with all the allegations, I'm not saying that they're lying. The only problem I have is why come out with everything when he dies.
when he's dead. Yeah.
Like why when he can't come out and defend himself. Like I hate it when people do that. Like whether it's true or not. Like I hate when people finally come out with their truth when the person's not there to defend himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
So it's like a lot of like, is it true? Is it not true? You know what I mean? Like so that's just my issue with it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it is true.
Yeah.
But why do it? Why do it when he's dead?
When he's not here.
When he's not here to tell his truth. And then also at the time you weren't complaining about it because you were getting paid.
Yeah.
You know? So
But also he was very controlling over like their money during the show.
Yeah, because you see a lot of that in the show, and Holly does talk a little bit more, like, because she was his main girlfriend, so she does talk more about like the way he is, like him taking his own food to the.
He was very specific.
Yeah.
When they would travel to Vegas, he had his chefs pack coolers because he would eat his 2 hard-boiled eggs every morning with coffee. Like he had his routine, and if something wasn't
And
right,
he would give them like the ingredients, right, like on how to cook his
and how
meal.
to prepare his meals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After this, we're gonna watch it. So
Yeah,
we
we
can
should
see it.
Yes, it's crazy.
It's like an eye opener. Right?
Yeah, it's crazy all the things that you don't really see because you're just looking at like, oh, how fun would it be? Like I was always like, damn, I want to be Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. Like, look, like they get fucking golf carts and whatever pet they want and whatever car they want. And I think the only one that really never came out and said anything was Bridget. She's just kept it cool and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, yeah,
she
got
was
like
my favorite.
She got a master's degree and a
She's
PhD out of it.
Nice.
Smarty. Yeah, she used her money. Or wait, you know what? Also, Hugh Hefner would give them $1,000 weekly allowance, but it was for clothes and for like makeup and for them to look presentable. He didn't want them saving money. Like he would be like, "What did you buy with your $1,000?" Like he wouldn't want them to save money so they could leave him. That's what it was. That's what he was like. You haven't bought enough stuff with your $1,000. Like, where's your stuff that you're buying? Like, very, very, I don't know, like controlling. Yeah. He was very controlling. And I don't know if it's because he was old and that's how it was back then, but
coming from a psychology standpoint, I think there is past trauma.
Probably. Probably.
The way your voice changes.
And you know what? He wasn't even like a super smart guy. He would get like C's. Probably like me. He was just like an average dude. An average dude.
I wonder, like how the hell did he like get into? Like, how did he make Playboy? Like, how did that? come across.
Well-
And then did anyone like take it over after he died?
Yes.
Who took it over after he died? Like a
Um,
family member?
No. His family's not affiliated with Playboy at all. Mm-mm.
Oh shit.
No. Here.
Playboy said in a statement, the Hefner family is no longer associated with Playboy, and today's Playboy is not Hugh Hefner's Playboy. We trust and validate these women and their stories, and we strongly support those individuals who have come forward to share their experiences.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Hugh Hefner's family's like, bye, see you later.
They're like, fuck that shit.
See you later.
Yeah. So there was probably like pre-stuff set like that he signed off that somebody else is taking
There's
over.
like so many other crazy things, you guys, like that Holly says, and it's just so like when I was reading it, I was like, no, he didn't. Like he liked to turn these girls against each other so that way they would fight over him, and he liked that shit.
Yeah.
He lived for
I
that.
started
He was
reading,
like,
or I started listening to the audiobook when you told me
so
the
good.
audiobook.
He liked for them to fight over him. He liked to feel that he was the main man and that nobody can touch him. He liked to feel like people would come up to him and be like, damn, man, how could you have 7 hot ass girlfriends? He liked that shit, and he lived for the attention and the drama.
Bitch ass.
Am I the problem? Am I the drama?
Am I the drama?
Think I'm the drama.
Also,
Maybe I
like he tried to bribe Holly. Like whenever she was like, I've had enough. I'm leaving. She tried to leave, and he was like, oh, he put her in his will and set the documents on her bed so she can look at them, so she wouldn't leave him. And Holly said she just looked at them, put him down, and was like, I don't even want to be here, and she fucking left.
She's like,
Way to go, Holly.
bounce.
Claps for
I think
Holly.
she did truly love him though.
She did. She wanted to have kids with him.
She wanted to be not only just the main girlfriend, but she wanted to marry him. And then when she did leave, he ended up marrying somebody else. I can only imagine like how much that hurt her. You know,
He married Crystal, and he wasn't even alive that long after he married her. He was so old. Yeah, he was. Anyway, those are just some of the
No judgment, but
secrets. Some of the secrets.
Anywho,
Anyway,
that's the Playboy Mansion.
that's the Playboy Money
Yes,
Mansion.
but
Secrets.
literally like rewatch Girls Next Door.
Rewatch Girls Next Door with the knowledge that you know now, and tell me that's not
the
creepy.
dog pee and poop through the TV.
that's so insane, dude.
Oh, one of the episodes I cringed. Sorry, before you start, because he was like at a restaurant with other girls, and they were taking a little bit long with his dinner, and he was like, what's going on with my dinner? Why isn't it like he was getting
that
so
was
mad.
like the first or second episode.
Yeah, and I
right?
was like, I'm cringing. Like, I don't like when people are, and Holly was just next to him, like,
She's,
fuck. She was just like eating, like, whatever.
like because she's so used to it.
Cringe.
Wow.
Okay. Dun dun dun. So I'm covering the unexpected dark history of the Tooth Fairy.
The Tooth Fairy.
So I just want to say for everyone whose kids that are listening to my segment, you might not want to let them listen to the segment because I don't want to be the reason, to ruin their childhood imagination. So,
But also, I say dick and stuff, so don't have them listening to this episode.
that's true. So,
Sorry.
Anyway, Ashley's all, oh my God.
She's
why
all
am I
red.
friends with these
Oh
people?
my God. Ashley's red.
Oh my God. So I was trying really hard not to discuss this specific topic, but I kept going back to it like over and over again. So here we go. Obviously I gave in.
It's meant to be then.
So anyway, so when we were little, or at least when I was little, I don't know about y'all, but like I was told by my parents, like when you lose a tooth, you put it under your pillow, and in the middle of the night, the little tooth fairy is going to come and like leave you some money in exchange for like your tooth, right? Right? Well, so these fairy tales are basically created to make the tooth disposal or like tooth extractions from kids like a little easier. So there's a French fairy tale. It's called The Good Little Mouse. It was basically influenced behind the modern tooth fairy. And basically in this little tale, the little mouse, what he does is he helps some guy defeat the king by sneaking under the king's pillow. And then while the king is asleep, he goes up to the king and knocks out all his teeth and takes all his teeth while he sleeps.
Oh.
And the king wakes up the next morning with nothing but like bleeding gums.
Ew.
How do you not wake up to that? What the fuck?
And this is like the little fairy tale behind like the mouse, right? So the tooth mouse became like the main like tooth fairy in like French households, right? But and God, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I found on the internet. So apparently in Mexico, Chile, Peru, Argentina, Colombia, the tooth mouse, aka tooth fairy, their tooth fairy was a mouse named Renton Perez.
It's my cousin. Yes. He's my cousin.
So basically, this little mouse, so children would put their baby teeth in a glass of water, and then the mouse or the rat would go and drink the water and take the baby tooth and then leave a present in the glass for the kids. And then afterward, or of course, the mothers would like keep the teeth or savage them or, you know, whatever.
Throw it away.
Yeah, throw it away, whatever. Throw them out. So there is the earliest record that we have on the tooth fairy can be found in 1908 newspaper from Chicago. It's from the Chicago Tribune. How do you say it? Tribune. So basically, this article was said that Lillian Brown, supposedly she was the one that was like, hey, so like, I think y'all should y'all should talk about this mythical creature to your kids. And like, this would actually help the kids lose their teeth easier. Cause you know how when you have like, at least when I was little, when I first got my first loose tooth, I was scared.
Yeah.
I was like, why is my tooth knocked out? No, don't pull it out. And then my mom was like, well, if it falls out, then, you know, you could put it under your pillow and the tooth fairy will come and like give you money in exchange for your teeth.
Hell yeah.
So supposedly she was the one, like the creator and like the one that came out and said like, hey, like you should tell your kids about the tooth fairy, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? So the second earliest was a 15-year-old girl. This was in 1911. In Louisville, Kentucky. So she was a 15-year-old girl, and she said that her aunt was the one that told her that she should get her baby teeth. And when her baby tooth falls out, she can get her baby tooth. She can put it in like a little envelope or like put it like in a little sock or something, put it underneath her pillow, and then she would get a gift. Well, she said when she was 15, she was so excited about the tooth fairy that she said that the tooth fairy visited her and told her, do you want to go to fairyland with me? And so she went to fairyland with the tooth fairy, but she doesn't remember fairyland. So psychologists are like, well, this could have been just like a dream. But you have like parapsychologists that are like, well, was it just a dream?
Was it?
Was it?
We don't know. In South Bend, Indiana, in 1926, mothers invented all kinds of different fairies. So there is a measles fairy, there is a chickenpox fairy, there is a vaccination fairy.
What?
There is, of course, the tooth fairy. A lot of young mothers explain that this was like the easiest way to like get like their kids to get their vaccinations, to get their shots, to go to the doctor, to get their checkups done. So like this kind of like transformed overnight. So like whenever a sick child would go to the doctor that night, the child would wake up and they would have like a gift or like money or something under their pillow. Interesting, right?
Interesting.
So
Use that.
Right.
So what was I gonna say? Oh, so this next one was in 1933. There was a Dr. Catherine Lindsay Wincoop. She said in her childhood days, they would like invoke the fairy. So basically, like she was taught growing up, the only way you can get the tooth fairy to come and visit you is like you had to like conjure her. So you would have to like, when you lose your tooth, you have to put it in an envelope, write a little letter to the fairy, but she can only be conjured up and come to you and take your tooth in exchange for money if you wrote her this letter in the envelope and put it underneath your pillow at night.
What?
It's crazy, right?
Mine was not that complicated.
Me either. So, of course, this is like the US and Canada versions of the tooth fairy, right? She's a little princess fairy, like almost like Tinkerbell with wings and all that. And like she's a beautiful fairy that like, you know, comes in at night, steals your tooth. Well, not everybody does the tooth fairy thing. In other cultures, they have like tooth superstitions or like rituals. So the Vikings, they were known to wear baby teeth on a string as good luck.
I would do that.
Or like as a good luck talisman. So they would pay to get baby teeth from children. And they believe that the baby teeth were luck, especially like wearing it during a battle. So they would pay children to like get their baby teeth.
I was thinking that when my kid has teeth, I'm going to save him and wear them. Is that crazy of me? Probably.
Can you wear them?
Yeah,
you can.
You can just drill like a little.
Make it a little charm necklace for your charm bracelet.
Cute. Okay.
They even have like the little like teeth, the little baby teeth boxes. My mom gave me one, but I was like no,
kind of weird.
I mean, I don't know. I'll think about it. So in the Middle Eastern countries, so there's Jordan, Iraq, Egypt, have a custom of throwing baby teeth into the sky, and this is supposed to bring them like good fortune. In some Asian countries, lost teeth, or like teeth that you lose, that fall out, are buried into a ground or a place. This would actually like bring like proper growth of like the new permanent teeth coming in. In other traditions, some of the children throw their teeth up towards the sun, and this would actually allow your adult teeth to come in more healthy if you throw your baby tooth up to the sun. So that's just like some rituals that some other countries do. So Turkey, they have a really interesting tradition, and I think this one's pretty cool. So they have their children bury their teeth at places that they want to grow up and pursue for their careers. So like they would bury their teeth at a hospital. So this means that the child would either grow up to be like a nurse or a doctor or like somebody like in the medical field. If they bury their teeth near or on school grounds, then they would grow up and like pursue education, etc. On and on. Right? So
Both of us.
yeah, so there's a lot of, you know, traditions, like different ways that people believe in a tooth fairy. But this is the darker side of the tooth fairy.
Dun, dun, dun.
So in cultures around the world, baby teeth were something that people disposed of very quickly, like in rivers. They would be thrown on roofs. They would be thrown outside. Some would be burned. And of course, this had to do with like witches or evil spirits. These evil spirits or witches are like wanting baby teeth. And they believe that dark forces would take control of humans by using their baby teeth or like possessing them or like just taking complete control over them. And of course, I don't know if y'all know this, but I also found that this is, so not only the baby, like witches or evil spirits would take control of people by their baby teeth, but also by their hair. So that's why back then, women and men had long hair because they were too scared to cut their hair because they were afraid that the witch next door would like try to take control of them.
Oh, makes sense.
That's crazy, right?
It is.
So throughout the Middle Ages, especially in Europe, mothers would burn their children. I'm just kidding. No. What? I'm just kidding. Mothers would burn their children's baby teeth in the fireplace rather than risk the possible witch who lives next door to find them. So can you imagine growing up back then and like your tooth falls out and you're like, oh my God, I don't want the witch to like find my tooth and like take complete control over me. I'm going to throw it in the fire and burn it. Like growing up with that fear, like your neighbor's probably a witch or like there's a witch in the woods that wants like your baby teeth. I
would burn them and then like get the ashes and sprinkle them on my ice cream. How crazy.
So in England, so this is like more in like Central Europe, baby teeth were burned. This was more out of fear of internal damnation. So it was said that if baby teeth weren't burned, when you would die, you would pretty much spend the rest of your entire life searching for your teeth. So, and also it means that your adult life would be cursed and filled with hardship if you didn't burn your baby teeth when they fall out.
Wow.
What the fuck?
So now I'm going to introduce everybody to Jenny Green Teeth.
Jenny Green Teeth?
Jenny Green Teeth.
Green tea or teeth?
Green Teeth.
Oh.
G-E-E-T-H. Jenny Green Teeth. So Jenny is a monstrous witch with green skin, long arms, wild hair, and sharp, nasty, ugly green teeth. So basically, she was often said to resemble like pondweed, or like she would even form into like large clumps of pondweed to like basically pull children into the water and drown them so they can become her companion. More specifically, she would target children who had really bad oral hygiene or rotting teeth. And
damn.
Supposedly, she lures in like the upper part of the branches and trees at night looking for children with rotten teeth. And parents would use this folklore to get their children to brush their teeth at night.
I'm going to use that on Sophia.
You should.
So this next one, I kind of already covered this, but I don't think I said it on my segment when we talked about mystical creatures. But in Ireland, parents were had fear of changelings. We all know what changelings are. If you don't know what that is, look at listen to our mystical creatures episode. But basically, I didn't find this out until like I started researching. You know, like when you research and you find out like from your past research, you're like, hey, I didn't read that before. This is what that was. So basically, parents would set a baby tooth by their newborn's crib to protect them from being taken away by changelings, and also to protect them in general from like harm or like evil spirits. They would put like a baby tooth by their crib to protect them.
Where did
Like
they get
their own baby tooth?
Either their own baby tooth or like a child before. Yeah, in Ireland.
Sense.
So
borrow your tooth.
there's this other one which I thought was kind of weird and it made me laugh. So another one is like this legend of like a tooth entity that takes the teeth of women who want to bear a child. So it's like a blessing for a tooth. So
What?
supposedly,
Like an adult tooth?
no, oh, like adult teeth. Yeah, adult teeth. Yeah, so supposedly, like, women paid the price of a child by losing their teeth. So most women were noticing when they would, this was like back then. So women were noticing when they would get pregnant, they would end up like losing their teeth by some like unseen entity or force. Girl, you know, back then, like, I say you're a witch. That's how it was. Like,
True.
you know, people like make up crazy stuff. But there's actual science behind this. So basically, pregnancy interferes with the calcium absorption, and further, like a lot of women pretty much crave like sweet and acidic foods while they're pregnant. And in modern days, women, at least I was, like women are less likely to go to the dentist because like the taste or like the smell, like just somebody like with their hands in your mouth makes you gag. Ugh. So
Does.
this is like less likely has to do with like an evil tooth fairy stealing teeth from pregnant women in order to have their baby. It's more like about dental hygiene, but I still thought that was pretty funny. Like
Sedate me.
sedate me.
Sedate me.
So this next one, this has to do with Filipino culture. So in the Filipino culture, spirits visit people in their sleep, or like give them premonitions and like give them warnings. So it's said that when someone is having dreams of their teeth falling out, they are being warned. So in the Filipino culture, if you dream this, someone around you or close to you will die soon. In order to counteract this, you must appease the said spirits by biting into a piece of wood to stop a loved one or somebody close from you dying. Just bite a piece of wood after you have the dream.
Like a bunny.
Yeah, you just bite it. That's so weird, right? Yeah, so to counteract it, you have to bite a piece of wood.
I don't think I've ever had a dream like that.
I have dreams about my teeth falling out.
But that means something else in our culture.
It means
I was
like
about to
good
say,
luck.
I was like,
something, or someone's talking. No, it's not someone
No.
talking shit. It's something else. I don't remember. I can't think.
I
right
think
now.
it's good luck. Let me look it up right now.
because I was like, I've never heard that, but I've heard like your teeth falling out.
It means
Like,
something.
wait, what? It was either teeth falling out or like if you had wooden teeth or something. Have you ever heard that one where like you dream you have wooden teeth? No.
I know if you dream snakes, someone's talking shit. But if you dream your teeth are falling
it could mean that you're dealing with some kind of loss or an abrupt end to a relationship or a job change.
something sudden.
Yeah.
That's weird. I was dreaming about that recently. My teeth falling out.
And
There
you
you
know
go.
why?
We'll talk about that later. So this next one, I think y'all will find it kind of like, what the fuck? It's like a WTF. So construction workers were taking down a wall on the second floor of the Converse building in downtown, I can't say this, Valdosta, Georgia. They found a wall full of 1,000 teeth. So they were knocking down the wall. So when they got through the drywood, there was another wall that had 1,000 teeth glued to it.
What?
So they researched, so a lot of research was done on the building, and basically it was discovered that the building used to be the home of a dentist, and it seemed that the dentist at the time, his name was Dr. Humans, he used to extract the teeth from his patients and place them into the wall instead of throwing them out or disposing them like he was supposed to, because obviously like it's a biohazard risk, because like rotting teeth can contain infectious material, rotting teeth, like it's rotten. So basically, they're like, why the hell did he put it against the wall? Well, come to find out, they said that it was due to like some kind of religious belief or like superstition. So like burning the teeth or like putting them on the wall is like part of some like old religious tradition thing like that he had.
What the fuck?
So he wouldn't burn the teeth. He would glue the teeth in the wall and like
that'll make it better. What the heck?
What the hell?
So yeah, so
I would
if
not
you
gonna
live
lie.
in Georgia, like your teeth, if you all
Might
saw
be
this
in the
doctor,
wall.
it's probably
I was
wall.
thinking
We're on
like
that wall.
I don't know why I was thinking like, oh, maybe like he was thinking like it was like a foundation thing,
No,
like to hold
like
up his wall.
It was like part of like some old religion. Like you would either burn the teeth or you would like put them in a wall in
That's crazy.
some I don't know, some kind of like religion thing.
So did he like take him out in his house? Like that was his
it
practice?
was just like because I guess like back then like people would have like their
in their
dentistry
houses, right?
in their houses,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so but can you imagine?
Yeah.
I can imagine like knocking down a wall and then like in my house
wall of
and like
teeth.
there's just like a wall of teeth.
I would move out. I'm done.
I can explain.
Me, I
Leave
think-
those there.
I think my house is alive. It's like Monster House.
Monster House. My house is alive.
I don't know. So
I would
a lot
move.
of people would refer to this dentist as like the real life tooth fairy or like tooth troll.
Tooth troll.
Yeah, that's basically it. There are some scary movie adaptations of the Tooth Fairy. One of my favorites is Darkness Falls. You can actually watch it for free on YouTube, or you can buy it on Vudu or buy the DVD. It's actually featuring Emma Caulfield. If you don't know who she is, she played Anya from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ah.
Yeah. And then 2020, they came out with a more recent Tooth Fairy movie, literally titled The Tooth Fairy, and she's supposed to be evil and like kill kids.
Cute.
And then I'm going to end it with a couple of fun facts about the Tooth Fairy. So fact number 1, the Tooth Fairy had her own museum. It showcased books, dolls, and like other Tooth Fairy memorabilia. So Dr. Rosemary Wells took it upon herself to become the Tooth Fairy expert. The museum was in Deerfield, Illinois, and unfortunately it closed after she died in the year 2000. The Tooth Fairy has her own holiday. February 28th is National Tooth Fairy Day, and sources also said that the holiday is switches year from year between August 28th and February 28th. So I don't know what this year is, but yeah, August 28th or February 28th is National Tooth Fairy Day.
Mark your calendars.
And,
Make a party.
and she collects 300,000 teeth from children all over the world every night.
Wow.
And
She
according
goes to work.
she works from them teeth. And according to the national survey, according to mothers or parents or guardians in general, a baby tooth is worth $4.70 per tooth.
I say that's at least $5. Just round it up, please.
Round it up to 5.
5. At least 5.
Can I just say, if you're one of those parents, I've been dying to say this. If you're one of those parents that gives your fucking kid a $20 bill, fuck you. Like now I have to give my fucking kid a $20 bill. He's gonna be like, how come his tooth cost? You only gave me $5, and what's his name, little Billy over there got $20. Like, cause you know what? Fuck you and Billy.
You know, I mean, when I was little, I think I would only get like $2.
I would get
or,
50 cents or $1 if I was
I
lucky.
remember like change and like dollars.
Yeah. I wouldn't get like $5, $10, $15.
No,
You know what I
Exactly.
did? You know how I
Never.
found out that like it wasn't a thing?
What?
Me and my cousins and my grandparents first got their ranch. It's so gross. I don't know why I did this. So
What?
there was like a skeleton of a deer, and me and my cousins each took a tooth, and we're like, oh my God, let's get money from the Tooth Fairy. And like we took the teeth and put it under our pillows. And we didn't wake up to money the next morning because we were trying to trick her, but we kind of convinced ourselves like she didn't take the tooth because it wasn't our teeth. It was like an animal tooth.
Like she knew.
She knew. Yeah, but that's so gross, right? I took a dead animal's tooth and put it under my
She
pillow
tried
for
to
money.
con the Tooth Fairy.
You are a con artist.
Me and my cousins are con artists.
Dang.
But also, what
We
the
were
fuck?
so mad. We were so mad. We got the teeth and threw it outside.
You should have just fucking made a soup of teeth while you were at it. Fucking crazy asses.
I don't even know
God.
if I washed it.
The tooth is probably, bitch, the tooth is probably all sharp.
It was big.
Can you imagine your mom like, damn, what the fuck? When
It was at my grandma's house. Imagine my grandma waking up like, what the? We left it there. Like,
what kind of teeth is this little girl growing?
Grandma, I lost a tooth.
It's all sharp.
Oh my god. I felt like I did a lot of research, but reading it, it's not that long. But anyway.
That's how mine was. I was like, damn, I got a lot of good stuff, but it was like fast. I felt like it was
So
fast.
that's the dark history of the Tooth Fairy. It was kind of light and then it got a little bit dark. But
That's crazy.
Nice. And also, don't give your fucking kids $20. I'm all mad.
$5 tops.
you know what? I remember getting like 15 only because I went and I got, I think, 6 teeth extracted.
Oh, what the
At once?
heck?
6, yeah, because I
Why?
think I had, so one of my tooth back here, when I got braces, it's actually flipped. So the front side right now is technically the back side of my tooth, and the back side is the front side. So it's like reversed. I had so
Let
many
me see.
I had so many teeth growing that it was making my teeth like, it was because I have a small mouth.
Oh, so they're compacted?
And they were all compacted, and then I had like a gap, and so it was causing this tooth to like twist. So when the orthodontist was giving me braces, he was like, I can't twist it all the way around. He's like, we have to reverse it. So like, it's this tooth.
It's a nice
That's
tooth.
crazy.
This is like smaller than my
Yeah.
other tooth. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I had a couple of crowns, like the silver crowns, and then look, I would spend the night. I would stay with my grandparents for a summer, and like literally, all my grandpa let us eat whatever we wanted. Just like if we wanted ice cream in the morning, we eat ice cream. If we wanted, we would always go to the little corner store and like get a bunch of cupcakes. I got fat when I would stay with my grandparents over the summer, and I would come home fat and dark because I was always outside playing
in the sun.
And I would go to the dentist, and I have a bunch of cavities because all I ate was junk food.
I had a lot of cavities too.
So,
Same.
All
and
the
that's why I'm
time.
a big sweet tooth now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every time I eat something afterwards, I'm like, so what's dessert?
Same.
Even if I'm
like,
fucking
I want something
full,
sweet.
I'm like, I need something sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I ate a whole pint of ice cream the other day.
That's okay, girl.
I was not.
I did too.
I was okay with
I've
it.
been there.
Fudge,
Fine.
chocolate.
No judgment
It
here.
was good. Yeah, we don't judge. We love ice cream.
We never judge.
Ooh, baby, I'll be stuck to you like glue, baby. Remember to vote, you guys.
Oh, yes, please make sure to vote daily until you said the 28th.
28th.
Until Tooth Fairy Day.
Tooth Fairy Day.
Until National Tooth Fairy Day.
I'm all, wow.
Wow.
Email us at scarynoutscarypodcast@gmail.com. Visit our website, scarynoutscarypodcast.com. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you rate and review us on iTunes. Please, 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 please. Rate and review us on iTunes. If you have an iPhone, which I know most of you do who are listening, if you have an iPhone, go on iTunes, review us, because this will get us into the charts. This will actually get us to get more listeners. This will get us exposure, pretty much. By you leaving a review, you're pretty much helping us market our podcast. So please do that.
Please.
You can follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the major platforms. Make sure you download Podbean. You can also listen to our episodes there, but mainly that's for our live shows. And shop our merch, scarynoutscarypodcast.shop. And we have a Patreon. There's nothing on there yet.
I'm sorry, I'm working on it.
You know the drill, okay? We're working on it. Don't judge us. And make sure you vote every day up until the 28th. I'm going to repeat that again. Make sure you vote every day.
Vote.
Vote, bitches.
If you don't know where to vote, it's on our Instagram.
It's
and
on our
Instagram.
Facebook. It's on our Facebook. It's on our Snapchat.
And our TikTok.
TikTok.
Put it on TikTok.
Please go vote for us. And if we win, we might do something special.
Yes.
Yes. And I believe that's it. Until next time, remember to always stay